Everest 84 was India's first mixed team expedition with 11 men and 6 women to the Mount Everest. The team left Delhi for Kathmandu by plane on 7th March 1984. After a few days in Kathmandu, they moved to Namche Bazar, which is the most important town in Sherpa-land. Most of our Sherpas came from there and the neighbouring villages. It was at Namche Bazar that Bachendri Pal had her first view of Everest. Mount Everest is popularly called as Sagarmatha, the mother of the seas, by the Nepalese. This name appealed to Bachendri Pal. The team used to climb up and down the mountain for nearly 1,000 meters daily. This was to toughen them up and to help the body acclimatize to the high altitude. Gazing at the Everest, she could see an enormous snow plume, a kind of banner which seemed to fly out of its summit. This was because of the wind blowing at 150 kilometers or greater at the peak and driving the powder snow off the mountain. The snow plume could be around 10 kilometers long. Anyone attempting the peak had to face these storms on the southeast ridge, particularly in bad weather. This was to haunt her, yet she was strangely fascinated by Everest and drawn to its tough challenge. Mountain people have always worshipped the mountains, and her overpowering emotion at this awe-inspiring spectacle was therefore devotional. She folded her hands and bowed her head to Sagarmatha. From Namche Bazar, they moved to Farish by 26th March. It was at Farish that she got news of Sherpa Ang Rising's death under an ice avalanche. A strong advance party had left much earlier to open the route through the treacherous icefall before the team reached base camp. The Indian Everest team began its ascent in May 1984. On the full moon night of Buddha Purnima on 15th May 1984, an avalanche had buried Camp 3 and more than half of the group abandoned the ascent because of injury or fatigue. Bachendri Pal recalled, "I was jolted awake, something had hit me hard. I also heard a deafening sound and soon after I found myself being enveloped with a very cold mass of material. She was trapped under snow." Lopsang, who was luckily in the same tent, used his Swiss knife to free himself and also helped Bachendri Pal to come out of the debris. The other team at Camp 2 was informed and they immediately came to their rescue, helping the badly injured to return to the base camp. Colonel D.K. Khullar reached out to Pal on the radio. When the male members decided to return to the base camp due to injury or shock, Colonel Khullar asked her, being the only female member on the summit team, if she would like to give it another try, and she said, "Yes sir, I will." On 22nd May 1984, Ang Dorjee, the Sherpa Siddhar means the main guide, Ang Dorjee and other climbers joined the team to ascend the summit of Mount Everest. Bachendri was the only woman in this group. They reached the South Col and spent the night there at Camp 4 at an altitude of 7,900 meters. At 4 a.m. on 23rd May, Bachendri Pal stepped out to a calm setting at South Col. She melted snow, boiled some tea and summoned an appetite of a few biscuits and half a slab of chocolate. Finding no one else outside besides Ang Dorjee, Pal decided to join him rather than await the rest. At 6:20 a.m. on 23rd May 1984, they continued the ascent, climbing vertical sheets of frozen ice. Cold winds were blowing at speeds above 100 km per hour, and temperatures were below minus 30 degrees centigrade. On 23 May 1984, one day before her 30th birthday, the team reached the summit of Mount Everest at 7 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. And Bachendri Pal created history as the first Indian woman to reach the top of the world. On the peak there was no place to stand, so she had to flatten the snow. She went down on her knees and put her forehead on the snow, kissed the crown of the world. From her pocket she took out an idol of goddess Durga and Hanuman Chalisa given to her by her mother and placed them on the summit. She also took time to remember her parents. At 7 minutes past 1, there were 3 of them at the summit, Lhatoo, Bachendri and Ang Dorjee. Sonam Palzor, carrying the much heavier cylinder, reached up 15 minutes later. It was Ang Dorjee's second ascent of Everest without oxygen. After 45 minutes on the summit, the group started their climb down, which is considered more dangerous than climbing up. An ode to the Sherpas of Nepal. Sherpas are superhuman people who can function normally without supplemental oxygen beyond South Col. Many Sherpas have climbed Everest without supplemental oxygen. Every Everest climber will have experienced some degree of mountain sickness, a thumping headache, blurred vision, nausea and weakness, only to look up and witness the Sherpa bouncing past them carrying 40 kilograms of load as if they were on a Sunday stroll. Almost all of the heavy luggage of the climbers are carried by the Sherpas. They also go ahead and clear the snow, prepare the ladder and do the rope walk. Then they come back to assess the climber. No climber can climb Everest without a Sherpa. Sherpas have risked their lives to save the lives of many climbers. Many avoid acknowledging them in their memoirs, the people who saved their lives on this cold mountain.